Hey, so another video request that came quite a while ago, so I apologize. It was from Blue Ribbon Nash, so thanks for putting that forward. Or he had asked on like favorite book or painting or music. So I decided just to put it into different categories, and we're gonna look at different types of books, especially in this time where we're in self-isolation. Sometimes it's nice to hear other people's thoughts on books and possibilities to purchase some. So I have three basic genres that I like going after. The first one I'll talk about is historical fiction. I love it because I'm not a huge fiction fan. However, I love mixing an understanding about context of a society at a certain time, but woven through with a fictional character that guides you through that day in the life of that particular moment. So I'm going to show you some of the books that I'm talking about, and love to hear other people's comments too, by the way, on other people's preferred books or favorite reads, because I think it'd be a great time to share that amongst all of us. So maybe we can find some new interesting reads. So first one, my very favorite author ever is a guy named Leon Uris. He is dead and old, or was old. He was born, I think, in 1924 or something like that. My favorite book ever is Trinity. It's about Ireland back during the famine years and the mix between the Catholics and the Orange. I don't have that book right now on me because I've lent it out a million times. But I'll just say that it's so well written in my perspective that I thought using an Irish lilt when I was reading it. So highly recommend it. The Hajj, this is another one of his. As you can see, I buy old books. He goes through different kind of groupings of subject matter for his books. So this one is more dealing with Israel and I'm not even going to get into it because if you're interested, look at it for yourself. But what I really like about him is that he provides human context for the antagonist and protagonist. So it's an interesting concept. This one I read a million years ago, but it haunted me in a interesting way. I will not spoiler alert at the end if you haven't read it, but it's Edward Rutherford. As you can see, all of my books are trashed, but London, good book. Most of these are fairly large reads, but if you have time, it's kind of a good time to take advantage of that time. Another one that I really like, I liked a lot. I haven't read it in quite a few years since, but it's pretty dark. Joseph Conrad, Heart of Darkness. It's, as you can see, it's a lot of more of the contentious backgrounds that I find interesting, and Conrad is just an amazing writer. Then my second genre is research. So I'm very fascinated with the human condition. So certain areas of interest are body language, understanding that. And I would show you one of those books, but I have also lent all of those out. Then also mind-body connections. So this particular one was part of some research when I went deep diving to find things that are speaking to that mind-body connection and the physiological way that we store emotions and how that actually comes through, and how we can actually use physiology in order to work through getting literally rid of latent emotions that are held inside. it was interesting. It's Emmett Miller is actually, I haven't heard of him very much beforehand before I read these, but he was a pretty interesting author for a research book. Another one is my nerdiness, big data. Love all things big data, quantifying, telling a story. That we can always tell stories by putting together information that is relevant in order, because if it's not relevant, it's not good data. It's not good science. It's not telling you telling you what is accurate rather than what you want it to tell you. So big data is, I find, super fascinating. Also, that's tied into my software that I was building. So that's still on hiatus. Last one, of course, MBTI, ripped, but I have a billion of these books. Find it fascinating. I don't usually go into details about MBTI when I'm on these videos, but that's due to the fact that usually you guys are already somewhat of a, have some background of information. So this is more experiential. Sub-interest that is kind of historical, but more fiction-based is, I fell in love with this book, All the Pretty Horses. As again, my daughter got it this one when she was a kid, but I fell in love with it. Like, there's multiple lines going through the book. He's an amazingly beautiful writer to read if you like the way that his prose goes. It's very interesting. All of these are older, so love to hear if there's other interesting books that are coming out that kind of fall in those lines. Last group that I will throw out to you that I do really love are autobiographies. I love looking into another person's experience and the hows and the whys, and it might be more of the social science in me that finds that fascinating. But it also becomes a little bit of a guilty pleasure. So my favorite all-time autobiography ever is The Dirt by Motley Crue. And that is not because a bajillion years later it turned into some sort of, I think it was Netflix, which was not good. It is a very interesting read. It really, I can't say enough. You have, if you like hairband or nostalgia from that time, the way that they capture their experiences they went through as a band, very good read. Every chapter is a different band member that is speaking from his perspective on a certain experience. So that one, and the other one is Anthony Kiedis. Like, I've read a ton of autobiographies, but I was very surprised that Anthony Kiedis did such a good job on sharing his journey as he grew up in very interesting life down in California, and how he managed to basically survive and stay strong for how many decades in the music business. So those are mine. Love to hear about yours. This was long. But yeah, love to hear it. As always, any video requests, just put in the comment section. Thanks so much.